Yeah. And
But on the
I
flip
try to put
side,
that in, but like it's still there's still a key difference. Yeah.
yeah. So there's differences, but I think what I'm thinking is the anarchical nature. It's not real anarchy because we're on fucking YouTube,
Yeah.
but like the anarchical nature of people in this chat. Like I'm seeing several creators. Bellamy Rhea just dropped an amazing, like, insightful video that touches so many things. Talks a lot about like cancel culture, but in a way that's better than most have engaged with. Victory's here. Victory's freaking 18 and is really just starting. So like there's people in this chat that are making content that doesn't have the polish and the Pulitzer rigor, but is going to take a certain position and provide an impact where I won't say it's evening out, but for the there's a 19-year-old sophomore that you just blew their mind.
Yeah.
And possibly change their life. I know that's weird because I've had that too. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's a good thing in the long run. It's a heavy burden. I'll definitely agree to.
The thing that I'm kind of grappling with personally, because I don't know if I'm equipped to really fully integrate and process it, is that kind of regardless of the long-term lifespan of Line Goes Up, I think I can already see that there's going to be ideas in it, like framings in it, and word choices, and like the way that certain questions about this ecosystem are structured that are, whether I want them to or not, going to like stick. That years from now, I'm going to see crypto criticisms that completely oblivious of the source, and no shade on this fictional future writer, that it's like I'm gonna see my own words being echoed back at me, because they've just become like mimetic, in terms of like how certain questions get framed around it, and that's very intimidating. But the way that people have responded to the video, it just kind of feels like, oh, okay. And like the way that people have responded. So it's not just you get a popular video and it does really well and people like, they share it, they retweet it, and they're like, oh, I liked this video, like this was a great time, like, hey, like you should check this out, and like that's fun and well and good. And there's something different about the way that people are sharing Line Goes Up. There's a difference in the words that they use, the way that they choose to pitch it to people, and the fact that it's not just like, hey, I really liked this video, that people, journalists and tech insiders and industry folks are sharing it with, pro crypto people are sharing it and going like, hey, this feels really important. And I don't necessarily want to believe that I have the power to be important. And I'm afraid of being important, because there's a burden of,
with great power comes great responsibility,
that it's like suddenly if it's important, then it's like, oh, is there something in there where maybe like, was I a bit too snide? Was I a bit too glib about something? Is there something that I should have been like even more rigorous about? Like Robert Caro, like he spent 8 years working on Power Broker, and like to make sure that he absolutely crossed every single T possible and dotted every I, and it won the Pulitzer, like very, very appropriate, like unquestionably, like deservingly, because it's like it was approached with that level of importance. And it's like I try to take that level of rigor and responsibility in the approach to my work, but at the same time, like there's still just that gremlin in the back of my head that's like, it's a YouTube video, Dan. Like
I have a similar thing, and I think there's something about us, in left tube, red tube, whatever we are in 2022, that none of us, especially those of us who are successful, we didn't start this thinking of stardom on YouTube. You know what I mean? Most of us were hobbyists. We had ideas or agendas.
I mean, I
But
just wanted to I just wanted to keep experiencing the high of standing in front of a classroom of teenagers and telling them something that exposes them to an idea for the first time in their life, and they get that energy and they're like, "Oh,
yeah,
oh, really?
yeah.
Oh, oh, this changed. Wow."
I'm so
That
with you
helps them
there.
evolve into a more full well-rounded adult. Like you know so I kept my YouTube video, like I kept making YouTube videos just to experience like that impact on a couple dozen people. Like for years I was happy if I only got like a couple dozen. I wanted to grow the channel. I was approaching it seriously. I was approaching it as a business, but like emotionally, if I was only getting like a couple dozen responses that were like, "Oh, I never thought of it that way."
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
that
that's
was all I
real.
emotionally needed to keep going.
Yeah, I taught for 10 years. If teachers got paid better, I'd still be a teacher.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I did not, if I never had children, I'd still be a teacher because that high is, I don't know what I'm sure there's some psychoanalysts of it, especially uh, being, a cis hetero male, or feeling like you have a impact that you can provide for young people that's useful to the world. But that's a lot of what I think about in my videos. That's what gets me going. That's what gets the writing done, is because I think, I'm starting this Obama video and I'm from Chicago.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about like the first scene of the video is going to be his debate with Bobby Rush,
Right, right.
where the last election he lost, and like thinking about the transition from there to now, and how I know most people haven't engaged with that. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of different there's a bunch of anti-NFT videos, a bunch of Barack Obama retrospectives. Some are going to be more critical than I'm going to be. Some are going to be less critical than I'm going to be. But none of them are going to do this thing I'm thinking about right now.
Right, right.
that you know what I'm saying? And so that's the CJ the X called them the golden giggles. Where you are
You realize that you've got you realize you've got an angle that like I don't think anybody's hit this yet.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's come at it from like here yet. Yeah.
Right.